In this tutorial, I'd like to talk to you briefly about subdivision surfaces as really a third surface type in order to create geometry. It's a very powerful set of tools in Maya, and I'd like to introduce you to those a little bit more. We have used subdivision surfaces in class by creating a polygonal object, such as a cube. We were creating vehicles, but if you have a cube, you're able to see the subdivision surfaces by clicking on the 1, 2, and 3 keys, and you can see that the polygonal surface responds by trying to create a shape that's best reflected as a higher resolution model of that surface. So, but there is another way of using subdivision surfaces in order to create models, and I'd like to show you that here. So let's go ahead up here to the Create panel, and right here under a Subdivision Primitives, let's grab Cube. Alright, places it out there for us. So F on my keyboard, bring that up. You can see that this is not any ordinary cube. And like the cube, the polygonal cube, you can increase the appearance of the resolution here in the viewport by using the 1, 2, and 3 keys. This is the lowest resolution. 2 will begin to smooth that out, and 3 is the highest resolution for that subdivision surface, the cube. So when you are creating a subdivision surface, you just want to go ahead and click 3 immediately so that you can see the highest level of resolution for that particular subdivision surface, and that's if you convert your poly surfaces to sub-D surfaces as well. So basically a sub-D object is a polygonal object, but it has a smoothing algorithm placed on that, so that though it's a polygonal object, it will try to interpolate between the different points on the object. So we'll talk a little bit more about how that works, but I'd like to show you the sub-objects associated with this sub-D object. If you right-click on it, you'll see that it has vertices associated with this object as well. They are the same as the vertices associated with the polygonal object. Even though they don't appear to be on the surface of this object, you can go ahead and manipulate those just as you would CVs on the polygonal object. You can also select on edges, which allows you to see the cage of the original polygonal object. So you can, just like a polygon object, you can select those edges and manipulate those as well. Alright, so you can see that this cage, being a representation of the original polygonal object, that this algorithm is simply trying to determine or interpolate between these particular points to create a smoothed object. So the power of the sub-D surface is that it combines advantages or abilities of using both polygon and NURBS surfaces. It's a very low resolution object, but it's also very smooth. But the really powerful thing about subdivision surface modeling is that you can add resolution in small areas, unlike what you would do with patch modeling or NURBS modeling. Alright, so to give you an example of of the power of the sub-D surface, you can, let's see, make sure you're in object mode, come right up here to subdivision surfaces and select on polygon proxy mode. Alright, you can see that again you have the representation of a polygonal model, this polygonal model applied to the subdivision surface. Now with this applied, you can actually use all of your polygonal tools in order to change the surface of this particular sub-D model. So to give you an example, I'll come in here and select on a face, and using the polygon tool set, we're going to go ahead and extrude this area. Alright, and you can see that the model, the sub-D model, is affected by this extrusion, but it is now interpolating the new influence of this extrude into trying to create that smooth surface. It now recognizes that this is an extruded area. So let's go ahead and try that again. Extrude. We'll go ahead and scale that down a little bit. Alright, scale way down so that you can see that a little bit better. And G on your keyboard, repeat that. Alright, you can see that it's again interpolating the points on this this new geometry, and it's showing you that there's an indentation here that we've created and another extrusion here while maintaining that nice smooth surface. Alright, and so anytime you can come back over here to your surfaces and go back to standard mode and be in that object mode. Go ahead and go to standard mode again, and that puts you back into standard sub-D mode. Now, types of things that you can do in standard mode is, for instance, coming in here and selecting on the face, and refining this area, putting in a little bit more detail here as opposed to here, which is something you can't do with Pasch model or NURBS models. So if I were to select on a face back here and say, oh, I want more detail back here, there's a small area here that I need to work, and come up here to subdivision surface and say refine selected components. So as you can see, that gives me a more refined area right in here where I need that, and not doing it all over the model. It only does it in the area which it needs to have that in order to maintain that fluid algorithm. So now I can come in here, say, and pull that surface out, and the algorithm has updated the surrounding surfaces because it needs those in order to interpolate. But I want to refine that even more in that area. Go to refine, and it'll refine that even more. So as I continue to need the refined surface area in order to get the detail that I want, just continue to do that. Let's see. Do that one more time. Alright, so you can see that I have enough geometry to get this point out here without having to affect the rest of the surface in that way. Alright, so you open the channel box and look at the subdivision cube, the shape, you can see that the display level is 3. Now you can think of this in terms of LODs, but if you click on here, you can see you can go back down to subdivision or display level 2 and continue to manipulate this object on that level. You can come back up here to 1, and you can see that the resolution changes back, and continue to manipulate on that level, or 0, the actual base. And you can see that because we manipulated this base in polygon mode, that it's maintaining that information in the base level, but it's not in the subdivision level. And I can again come in here and move those areas around in display level 0, and then come back here and again further refine this if I so choose. Oops, not that. Refine, and be able to continue to refine those very detailed areas. Alright, so and once we're satisfied with our shape, what we can do is back in object mode, come over here to subdivision surface, and collapse hierarchy, open up the options box there, and it gives you the ability to save the level of detail at the different levels that you've created. So if I want to save that at 1, I can go ahead and collapse that, and it will save those changes at that level. Now let's go back and look at the display level. 4 is the highest that we currently have, so if we want to save the detail in all of that, and in display level 4 you're going to need to that's not the one. Go ahead and put that in to your options. So when I collapse that, I can see that now the level of detail that I created down here for this little object has been distributed throughout the object to make it a nice, even, clean geometry all throughout. Alright, so that's how that works. Alright, so once you have your object, if you convert that back to polygons at, say, level 1 detail, go ahead and convert that. I'm going to modify, convert the sub-Ds to polygons, convert at level 1. You can see that that it maintains the level 1 detail for your particular model. You're going to lose the smaller detail. Modify, convert, sub-D surface to polygons. So if we convert that back to level 0, you can see that we've lost any subdivision type of information that wasn't applied to level 0. So lose all of our detail information here. So there's another way to work with subdivision surfaces.